Hello, my name is Rachel Helps. I'm the Wikipedian in residence at the Brigham Young University Library, and I'm recording this presentation that I did at the Utah Library Association conference in May 2023. So here's my contact information. Nicole did the part on Wikidata, but I'm just going to do the Wikipedia part, which is I'm going to talk about my target audience is librarians, why libraries should care about Wikipedia, how to make your digital collections reuse friendly, and how to get funding for events or a position. So you might be wondering, how could contributing to Wikipedia help my library? So I'm going to go over, how great Wikipedia is and why you want to contribute to them. Wikipedia is the number 7 most popular website on the internet, and that's where our patrons are going. We want patron-centered services. Well, Wikipedia is where it's at. Wikipedia is often the first page of search results for a person or topic, but is your content DM page? With my team, we work on pages that get hundreds of thousands of views every year. Some of them only get hundreds, but that's a lot more people reading accurate information than they would have been able to access otherwise. One thing you may not know, Google's knowledge graph pulls from Wikipedia. I know what your question is. Rachel, what is a Google knowledge graph? Well, it's this thing on the right-hand side when you do a Google search for people or groups that sort of defines what it is. And so before I created a Wikipedia page for the Klinger sisters, the knowledge graph just said they were a very talented bunch of Mormon sisters from Utah, that they just pulled it from their Facebook page. After I wrote the Wikipedia page, it said the Klingers was one of the first rock and roll girl bands, and they started as a barbershop quartet, etc. So the page I added to Wikipedia changed what Google could tell you about them, which is great. The Wikipedia pages also influence the information from Siri and Alexa and other, the knowledge AI things. Another thing that librarians share with Wikipedia is a mission of open knowledge, where we want to close knowledge gaps and make things easier to access. While accurate summaries of information from reliable sources are, in some cases, even more useful than a book, depending on what you want to know. Creating and editing Wikipedia pages with accurate cited information gets that accurate information to more people. We can close knowledge gaps and liberate print information by contributing to Wikipedia, and those citations can give people or patrons, potential patrons, breadcrumbs to your books. And if you use public domain and freely licensed images on Wikipedia pages, more people will see them. And let me tell you more about that. So Wikimedia Commons is a centralized repository for use on all of the Wikipedia projects. So for example, I worked with a professor in his class on a page called Bakemono Noe, which is the monster scroll that we have in special collections, and we created a Wikipedia page for it. And we wanted to use the same images we used on the English Wikipedia page on the Japanese Wikipedia page for it. And since we uploaded them to Wikimedia Commons, we didn't have to upload them to Japanese Wikimedia a second time. We could just take them all from Wikimedia Commons. Another thing that libraries and Wikipedia have in common is this DIY ethos. Makerspaces are really popular in library spaces right now. What about having a makerspace for information? I guess that's kind of like what libraries have been all along, but in this way we can collaborate and share our information easily, Okay, I hope you're on board, because now I'm going to show you how this stuff works. Here's a picture of Mildred Dilling. I was asking our special collections music curator, what kinds of Wikipedia pages should we work on that we have special collections associated with them? And he said, we have great harp archives, and you should create a page for Mildred Dilling. She's a famous and amazing harpist. So I created a Wikipedia page for her, and I also went through our papers on her, our images specifically, and I was looking for images that would be in the public domain that I could use. And most of them were not in the public domain, but this one was, because it was taken by the Air Force when she toured for servicemen during World War II. So, it's owned by the federal government. It's in the public domain. And it's such a great picture, I decided to put it in her info box on the Wikipedia page I created for her. And this page and its accompanying picture get approximately 4 views per day. And, that adds up over time. You can see when I took this screenshot, it had 109 page views over the last month. So that's a lot more people than were looking at the picture in special collections. Okay, so you're on board with this reuse stuff. How do you encourage it? Well, here's 3 ways. Have really clear rights statements in your metadata. Make downloads of medium res or high res images available where possible. And full text search makes it easier for people to find information and cite it on Wikipedia. So here's an example of an image that I was able to reuse from a newspaper. And I was able to find it more easily and figure out its copyright because of how Utah Digital Newspapers displays the copyright data. For example, this one says there's no copyright on this newspaper. It saves me the time of trying to search around for a copyright statement in an old newspaper. I know I can just zoom in and clip it and use it. Something I want to talk to you about is the Digital Public Library of America. They have a DPLA to Commons pipeline they've set up where if your collection fulfills certain criteria, they can just upload all your stuff and some of the accompanying metadata to Wikimedia Commons, like automatically, do hundreds of thousands of images. It will take like a day or two, but so this presentation was for Utah libraries. So I was talking to people who could be part of the Mountain West Digital Library Consortium. But if you're in America and you're a part of another hub network, your collections may be eligible. If your images are harvested to DPLA, if they have URIs in their rights statements, and there's some other stuff, I'll put the link in the description, they may be able to upload your images and some of the connected metadata to Commons. And from there, you or some other volunteers could reuse them on Wikipedia. And just full disclosure, I am part of the DPLA Wikimedia working group. So if you're like, how does this work? I want to know more. Email me. I want to know about the kind of documentation people need about this, but my expertise is on the Wikipedia side of things. I'm not the metadata magician. My friends are. Okay, so I decided I'm just going to find an image from Mountain West Digital Library Consortium people on DPLA and use it on Wikipedia as an example of what this could look like. So you can see I did this search for anything in the Mountain West Digital Library that had unlimited reuse. And then came the tricky part where I looked through the images and thought, which one of these could I use on Wikipedia? And I chose this one of the Jenny Lake and the Grand Tetons in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And I was going to put it on the Jenny Lake page, but I didn't. Am I looking at it wrong? I didn't see a lake in there, but I did. I uploaded it to Commons, and then I put it on the Teton Range Wikipedia page, where it received a lot of views, probably an unusual amount. It was like over 4,000 in a month. This one just says 3,927. That was like after when I put it. Yeah, that was like 2.5 weeks later. So not every image you put on Wikipedia will be like that, but a lot more people will see it there. Full text search, just want to put in a plug in it for it, even though it's sort of hard to show in a presentation like this. But I created a page for Sophic and Mantic, this sort of distinction between religious and secular knowledge. It's, well, how some people interpreted it. That was originally defined by Hugh Nibley as sort of like this history of Mormon philosophy idea. And I was able to find articles for it thanks to the great full text search we have at Scholars Archive, the scholarly communications repository in the BYU library. Highly recommend text search, full text search. Stuff on archive.org also has pretty good OCR and full text search. I love it. Okay, have I got you excited now? And you're like, I would love to do this, Rachel, but we don't have any money. Well, there are ways you can get money. The Wikimedia Foundation can give you a grant. They have special rapid funds you can get within a few months, like for an editing event, to pay for lunch or pay for prizes to give to people. And once you've done a rapid fund, you'll get familiar with their grant process, which is very open and transparent, and they really want to help you get this grant. And there are other funds other than the Rapid Fund that could help you pay for a temporary position. That would be in the Wikimedia Alliances Fund. This one that I highlighted, that's where the Rapid Funds are. So head on over and apply for some money for your library. There has been a Wikipedian in residence at a public library. My colleague Kim Gile at the Kansas City Public Library received $50,000 in grant money from the W.T. Kemper Foundation to hire a Wikipedian in residence. And in her presentation at Wikipedia Plus Libraries, which I will put in the description, she had a slide with like the whole breakdown of the budget for it and also the job description. So the work's already half done for you. You also might be wondering what someone like me, a Wikipedian in residence at an academic library, does. Well, they can supply training to faculty who teach with Wikipedia, although WikiEDU is a great resource for them too. They can advocate for accurate rights statements and making things more accessible online. I'm always pestering people about that. They can summarize and cite reliable sources to make Wikipedia's information better. And if you're like, yeah, I want to know more, where do I find a person? Jake Orlowitz at wikiblueprint.com can help you find someone. He created this new website recently, and he knows all of the Wikipedia people, so that's a good job for him. And I know you're wondering, okay, well, what have other people done with Wikipedia? So maybe I can just do what they did. A lot of institutions have done mass uploads of images, including the Library of Congress. They have uploaded like hundreds of thousands of images, so many of them. They're on Wikimedia Commons. And every once in a while when I'm looking for an image, one of their images will come up, like when I was looking for images for the Topaz War Relocation Center page. Other institutions who have done mass uploads include the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Smithsonian, and smaller institutions like my own. I did a mass upload of the Charles Savage photograph collection. But if you can, just do your upload through the DPLA pipeline. That is a lot easier than trying to do it yourself. just FYI. Another thing that academic librarian employed Wikipedians in residence are doing is filling knowledge gaps. This is an example from, sorry, I'm looking at my notes to get the name right, from Ji-Yun Alex Jung at the University of Toronto. He wrote a ton of pages on the history of insulin and diabetes because they have a collection on that at the University of Toronto Library, or one of them. This is the kind of writing and research that a volunteer probably wouldn't do. Like most editors on Wikipedia are volunteers, and they're typically not that interested in the history of insulin. Another example of filling knowledge gaps comes from Mary Mark Ockerbloom. She improved this page on Ashok Gadgil. I just thought this part about the Darfur Stoves project was interesting. Ockerbloom works at annual reviews to add citations to newly open access resources and also other helpful resources. And she's worked for the Science History Institute in the past too. And just a last word on paying people to edit Wikipedia for you. Please avoid conflict of interest editing. I know you're thinking, oh yeah, we should really hire someone to improve the Wikipedia page for our library. That shouldn't be the first thing you do. Just don't edit the Wikipedia page for your library or any of its employees, and avoid all that conflict of interest stuff. And I recorded a TikTok on here. I'm not going to show it to you now, but I will publish it later, and you will be able to see it then. Well, that's the end of this presentation. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you later.